Hey, you betcha. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the program. Great radio stations across the land. Newsmax TV, iHeartRadio, JoePags.com. It is a Friday. I'll give you some strings. Where my horn section? Let's go. Sorry, that was me. That was big lunch. Had some cheese. I'm just saying. What day is it anyway? Where is Bob Guthrie? Let's go.
Friday.
Thank God.
Thank God it is Friday.
Absolutely.
Friday.
Thank God it's.
Thank God it is Friday.
What the heck? Let's make it a Free Speech Friday. Let's go. Freedom. Say what? Bring it down. Here's how we do. 1-800-383-9624. JoePags.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. It's all right there. Whatever's on your mind, fair game. If I know something about it, we'll talk about it. If not, we'll move on. There is a lot going on, a lot to cram into a short amount of time, so we'll get right down to it. First of all, the show will be excellent today. Carrie's off today. And, Paul, if you can, just cut that right out of the podcast so that you can't hear me say that. But, yeah, she's off today, but there's a lot of news going on, and we'll certainly bring it to you. I was in the car today on the way to, I think it was on the way to the gym, I think. A lot going on. By the way, Eric Trump, his own self, at the bottom of this hour. Eric Trump, the son of Donald Trump, the Republican nominee for President of the United States of America. I talked to Eric earlier today, and nary 10 minutes later, we had all this breaking news about the FBI. And it's interesting to see how people are spinning the FBI story today. If you've been at work, you've been at soccer practice, you've been out at the grocery store, you've been getting stuff done, you've been doing other things, I will fill you in on this FBI story. You'll recall that FBI Director James Comey, after Loretta Lynch somehow had a meeting with Bill Clinton, and after Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, also said she would take the recommendation from the FBI as far as the investigation into the illegal private server by the then Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. Comey comes out, sets up the entire case. Here's what she did wrong. Here's how she did it wrong. Here's how many times she did it wrong. Here's when she made this up. Here's when the classified information was this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. And on top of that, she also was using an unsecured device in the middle of places where they didn't really like us very much, and all that stuff was available to be hacked and so on. But we are not recommending charges. And, of course, everybody who's got half a brain, whether you're left or right or in between, we all went, what do you mean, no charges? I don't follow. This, you just told us every reason why she should be charged. You just told us every reason why she's going to the clink, man. It's going to be the Gray Bar Hotel for Hillary Clinton. And then at the end he says, but we're not going to recommend it because there was an intent. Of course there was intent. There was intent to set up the server. There was intent to use the server. There was intent to use the server for all sorts of classified and top secret information. Intent to use the server, it turns out, to even communicate with President Obama using a pseudonym. Something he lied about when he was questioned by the media about when he knew about the server. But still, nothing to see here. Have a nice day. And James Comey, the director of the FBI, recommended to the Department of Justice, which is what the Attorney General knew he would do because, again, she said she would take the recommendation of the FBI. James Comey recommends no charges because he couldn't think of a reasonable prosecutor, he said, that would prosecute the case, which is a lie. I know prosecutors, and they're all like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. I'd rather prosecute the heck out of that case. So we thought it went away. It's very weird, the whole timing of what's going on right now. The whole deal is very weird because just last week, or earlier this week, we had information that the government, the Obama administration-run government, admitted that next year people are going to see 25% increases on their premiums or their deductibles when it comes to Obamacare. In other words, Obamacare sucks. We've known that it sucks, but we've been hiding it from you that it sucks. And next year, once he's out of office, we're going to show you the level of suckage of this law, Obamacare. And we're all going to see major increases. So much so that a lot of people, even from very left liberal California, they've said, well, we're going to take the penalty. We can't afford Obamacare. We're going to take the penalty. And that's really the option. Either you buy insurance and you're forced to buy it, the government says you have to buy it, and suddenly your commerce is forced upon you. It's not a tax, although the Supreme Court said it was a tax. Now they're saying either you pay it, and if you don't pay it, you're going to be fined. Now people are going, well, how much is the fine? How much is actually buying the insurance? I think I'll go with answer A. I'll take the fine because it's lower than buying the insurance. That's how bad this has gotten. By the way, just a little side note, Hillary Clinton wants to not only continue Obamacare, but wants to continue Obamacare on steroids. Figuratively. I don't think she wants to inject us all with steroids. But having said all of that, now you've got, that was just this past week or so, and you're wondering, wow, this administration allegedly wants Hillary Clinton to win. And now today, this morning, you get this big announcement that the FBI is reopening the case. Now, I've heard the case of the private server. I've heard from people who are far left that this isn't reopening anything. They're just re-verifying some new information that was added to the thing with the people in the and that's all a lie. This is really very basically reopening the case. James Comey, the FBI director, sent a letter to the committee in Congress. He sends this letter to the committee, where, and again, I mean, I can make a great case for hold on to this until November 9th. Why do it now? I can make a great case that you don't do it. But he sends this over from his office, his station here at the FBI. Dear Chairman, in previous congressional testimony, I referred to the fact that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, had completed its investigation of former Secretary Clinton's personal email server. Due to recent developments, he says, I am writing to supplement my previous testimony, he continues, in connection with an unrelated case. And I'll tell you who that case involves in a minute. You can make your face hurt. The FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation. I am writing, he says, to inform you that the investigative team briefed me on this yesterday, and I agreed that the FBI should take appropriate investigative steps designed to allow investigators to review those emails to determine whether they contain classified information, as well as to assess their importance to our investigation. He continues, although the FBI cannot yet assess whether or not this material may be significant, and I cannot predict how long it'll take to complete this additional work, I believe it is important to update your committees about our efforts in light of my previous testimony. Now, let's really break that down. He's working on another case. Guess what the case is? Anthony D. Weiner. Oh, yeah, that's the case we're talking about. He's working on the case of Anthony D. Weiner. And they find some emails, I guess, on a device associated with that case. I don't know whether it's Uma Abedin's, who's Anthony Weiner's estranged wife now, or Anthony Weiner's own device. I don't know whose device it is, but they're looking through these devices, and he says they have found emails that could be pertinent to the case of the Hillary Clinton private server. Wow. Why do it now? It's a week and a half before the general election. I mean, all of these people are all tied together. Loretta Lynch would never do anything to hurt Hillary Clinton's effort to become the president. Barack Obama and his wife, Michelle Obama, although I don't think they like the Clintons, and there's a lot of evidence, just ask Ed Klein whether they like each other. They really want her to be the president, certainly more so than Donald Trump to be the president. So why now, man? Why let this out there? Why put it out there? And Paulo just says, could it be to distract from WikiLeaks? That's an interesting angle. But I got to, as much as I would say, yeah, that kind of makes sense, it doesn't, because WikiLeaks can be blown off. WikiLeaks can be blown off as the Russians hacked us, a foreign entity is trying to change the outcome of our election, and that's just wrong, and it's horrible, and how dare they? So that's how they've sort of gotten away from WikiLeaks. This is from somebody's device associated with an investigation. They already were. In other words, the FBI and the Department of Justice have ignored WikiLeaks. So I don't think we need a distraction from WikiLeaks. It's a great idea, but I don't think you need a distraction from WikiLeaks because nobody's paying attention on any sort of official level. The rest of us are paying attention, but not the Department of Justice, not the FBI. So why now? Why tell us about Obamacare increases a week and a half before the election, 2 weeks before the election? Why tell us about this new reason to reassess the case against Hillary Clinton or into her server a week and a half before the election? I don't get it unless there is an underground, leftist, progressive, Obama-driven, push to try to get her investigated anyway. And others have said, well, no big deal. He's just going to pardon her. You can't pardon somebody who hadn't been charged yet. So one conspiracy theory today is that maybe they'll charge Hillary Clinton, which isn't going to happen in the next week and a half. And if they do, then Obama can pardon her and she can go ahead and win the election. I mean, are they that afraid of indictment that they want to fast track it so that he can pardon her before the election? Again, you could pardon somebody after they've been charged or after they've been convicted. You can't pardon them before anything happens. You can't say, you've got a blanket pardon. You have a blanket pardon. You can't do that. So, I mean, I think that's far-fetched. I don't think that's anything to do with anything. That's not going to happen. But the fact that they've reopened it and started all this simmering stuff again, crazy. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Donald Trump actually delayed his appearance at a get-together in New Hampshire while they were putting together some information on this, and he comes out and he reacts to it. Then I'll give you Hillary Clinton's reaction to the reopening of the case into her server when we come back as well. 1-800-383-9624, joepags.com. Whatever's on your mind, fair game. We've got that for you, too, on a Friday. Stay here on the Joe Pags Show.